the past continuous or past progressive. There are different ways to use the past continuous tense. One of the first ways is to use it with the simple past to describe actions that happened one after the other, but at a similar time in the past. Or if two persons, for example, they were doing two different things, but at the same time, as in the examples. If I say, I was talking on the phone when my sister knocked at the door, it means that this first action was going on for a while. I was talking on the phone, and then there's a second action, so that happened after the first one. My sister knocked at the door. So this verb will be written in the simple past, and this verb will be written in the past continuous. Example, when two persons doing two different things. So in the same time, exactly in the same time, this one was watching the movie while this one was doing her homework. So two actions by two different people, but at the same time. So that's why both verbs are conjugated in the past continuous. Or it could be used all alone, by itself, to describe an action that happened at a specific time in the past. But in this case, time will be very important. Example, she was running, so past continuous, this morning at 6, time is important. Now, if you have noticed, there are two keywords that will be used often while conjugating the past continuous. These are while and when. Now, for the affirmative form, for the word order, we have the same as for the present continuous. It's just that my auxiliary will be conjugated in the past instead. But it's the same thing. You have your subject, your auxiliary must agree with it. Then the main action verb will end with ing, and then you have your object. Example, my subject is we. Were is my auxiliary that agrees with my subject, verb to be in the past. Doing is my verb in ing, my action verb. And math at 3:30 yesterday afternoon, that's my object. With the past continuous, the object will be more important because, as we mentioned before, time is important when conjugating in the past continuous. Now, we'll be talking about the past, when and how to use the past continuous correctly. So, if the past continuous is used alone in a sentence, it means that a specific time will be implied. This will be important to remember. Example, I was walking to school at 8 yesterday morning. So, here, if I were walking before, I would just use the simple past. Here I would use the future. But no, time is important. So at exactly 8 yesterday morning, I was walking. So past continuous. Now, here, imagine that two events both happened in the past. So both events are finished in the past. They happen one after the other. Then, because the action is over, you would use the simple past for both of your verbs. Example, When the lights went out, first action, right away my brother lit some candles. So this happened in the past. This happened, my brother did this. It both happened in the past, so that's why both verbs are in the simple past. Now imagine that two persons were doing two different actions, but exactly at the same time. In this case, both verbs would be conjugated in the past continuous. So Kelly was doing this, Peter was doing that, but it happened exactly at the same time. So that's why both of the verbs are in the past continuous. For the last example, you have one action that was going on for a certain period of time when, boom, something happens. So that's why the first verb is in the past continuous. The kids were finger painting. And then second action, short action, you walk in. So at this moment, probably the children will stop finger painting the walls. Okay? So first action going on for a long period of time, and then this long action is interrupted by a second action. So the first action, the one that was going on the longest, will be conjugated in the past continuous, and the second, shorter action will be conjugated in the simple past.